All right, so now we are actually going to get into the basting process. So one of the many wonderful things about Quilt 101 are that your kits come pre-cut. So the same thing comes if you order. Well, the batting is not included in the kits, that you have to purchase separately, but if you order a thing of batting with your kit, then we will cut it to the dimension that you need. And so that way you don't have to trim anything, saves you a ton of time. But the same with the backing and the binding are included in the kit, and they come pre-cut. And so that way you don't have to worry about messing with that. The only time you'll have to mess with the backing is if the quilt is large and you have to piece things together, but we'll cover piecing in a different quilt. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the sandwiching process. And so what we do is, well, first, I like my table. It's a new table and I don't want to get glue all over it. And so I covered it with a sheet just to protect the surface. So if you have something that you don't care about, then you don't have to worry about covering it, but
it also washes out nice. I use a dining room table at home. And whenever I'm finished, I just take a warm sudsy rag and it washes it off. Well. Emily's a little bit more wild with the spray glue, so she definitely needs to cover her table. I'm not quite as wild.
Yeah. All right, so first you're just going to lay out the batting, and you always spray onto the batting first. So do you want to do the backing or the top first?
Let's clip it.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to secure this down because you want it to be really tight so that way you don't get bunches in there. So we're going to secure this down. We're going to take the basting spray and just give it, a shake.
Before you do that though, let's lay this on there so it's ready to go. And then we just kind of lift it up as we go. Okay. So you'll typically, and when you order kits from us, you'll have to let us know if you're going to quilt it yourself. If you're going to send it to a long arm quilter, well, typically when you do send it to a long arm quilter, they usually will have their own batting, and every quilter has specific measurements on how much more they want to go. It's called overage, and overage is the part that hangs over the actual quilt top. So as you can see now, Emily is spraying that. So we've clamped the batting, we set the quilt up on top of the batting, we pulled it back, we glued it, and now we're going to...
Well, and with the glue, I went around and kind of did an outline around the edge, and then I just kind of sprayed it between. So now we just go through, and I like to start in the middle and just kind of smooth.
And getting back to the batting, so this is the overage between the edge of the quilt to where the batting ends. This little area right here, that's called the overage. The batting that we would cut for you will go probably a couple inches over on each side. If you want it bigger, if you know you're going to send it to a long arm quilter, just let us know and we'll cut it a little bit bigger for you. All right, so now we're just going to keep pressing from the middle to the outside.
Okay, and now we need to...
And you don't need a lot of the spray glue. You just need enough to hold it together. All right, so now we need to advance it. So we take the clamps off. All
right.
Now, how far did we get? Let's pull it down just a tad bit more, then we could do it in one thing right here. Okay. Yep. All right, so we're going to clamp it again. We're going to make sure it's tight or taut, not tight, but taut. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Taut.
You got it, Mom. Alrighty.
All right, so start in the middle and smooth it out. If you see any threads under there, either snip them or kind of tuck them in there. There's some dark threads right there. Okay.
All right, so top is
All
done.
right, so now we're going to take the clamps off.
All right, so we have the backing down, clamping this, just kind of smooth it out so there's no wrinkles. And then we have the top.
Now I like to lay the backing down, and as you see, the right side goes down, the wrong side is facing up. I like to put the backing down and put the top on the backing because it keeps the top smoother as you push it down. Now you want to save at least 2 to 3 inches around all the sides as the overage. If you're home quilting it, if you're long arm quilting, then you definitely are going to have a little bit more than that. Not quite so heavy.
Okay.
All righty. That. Oh, whoop. Getting ahead of myself. Getting ahead of myself. Just a little bit.
Is that a little enough for you?
Yep. Okay. She likes her spray. She's a little heavy on the spray. She loves it. Okay. Now, same thing. Move the clamps. We're going to move this down. Let's see where we stopped. We can go a little bit more. There we go. Same thing. Clamp it down. Whoop.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can feel it where the glue stopped, like you just lightly, like you can feel it kind of sticking to it.
There we go. Sometimes too, I will usually go along the edges just to make sure that, because the edges are really important that they stick, especially if you're home sewing, if you're home quilting. So if it needs a little extra, you just kind of find those spots that might need a little touch up.
And then this glue does go away when you wash it, and so you don't have to worry about it always having the smell of glue because it goes away after you wash it. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, so let's unclamp this. And then our quilting sandwich is done. So we have the backing, the batting, and the top part of our quilt. And so now we just take it, now we start the actual quilting process. This is a good one, don't miss it.
And don't trim anything yet. All the trimming will be done after it's quilted. Thanks for watching. This has been a good tutorial. We will see you next time.